Welcome to Part 8, which is Segment 6, the Unit Status Phase. We start with the U.S. Organizational Segment. Here is a U.S. unit at Conto. This is the 1st Brigade of the 9th Infantry Division. It is in the first deployment. So during this, when it's first placed, you can pick any of the 3 deployments available. After which, it stays in that deployment and can only be switched during this phase. So this is the first deployment. If you wish to switch it, this is deployment 2. So all of them have to go in the same hex, so they all go in Conto. And you see we have the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Battalion of the 1st Infantry Brigade, 9th Infantry Division. So that's the second deployment. If you want to switch to the 3rd deployment, that goes away. These flip over. Again, all in the same hex. If you want to switch back to the 1st deployment, all of the components need to be in the same hex. And you just remove that. And you put the brigade down. So, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. This is the only phase where this can be done. Next is the ARVN Effectiveness Determination segment. This segment attempts to model that large portions of the South Vietnamese Army would from time to time just be combat ineffective for various reasons. At the beginning of this phase, a single die is rolled which determines the effectiveness of all ARVN units on the map for the remainder of the season. So, I want to emphasize, a single die is rolled for all ARVN units. And how do we interpret this? If this die roll is less than or equal to, we can see our commander here. We have our 1-star commander. He's our division commander. He's got an effectiveness of 3. Our corps commander has an effectiveness of -2. That's the 3rd Corps. We add those together, we get 1. So if we roll a 1 or less, the 9th Division will be effective for the entire season. If we roll a 2 or higher, it's going to be ineffective for the entire season. So you can see there's a corps boundary there. And I have my people on the wrong side of the corps boundary, so I'm just going to slide this over. I apologize for the confusion. So they're in 2nd Corps. If you can see there's the 9th Division HQ and there's the 9th Division Armored Battalion, attached Armored Battalion. If the Armored Battalion happens to be in 3rd Corps, the division is still considered to be in 2nd Corps because that's where the HQ is. Over here, we have an independent unit. This is the 3rd Armored Battalion of the 3rd Armored Regiment or Brigade. I'm not sure how they were formed, but it's not a division level unit. The non-division level units, or something that's not attached to a division, falls back to the corps commander. So he's under the command of the corps commander. So to determine the effectiveness, you take the corps commander's effectiveness, which is -2. You add 3 to that, and you get a 1. So if the roll is 1 or less, that unit is effective. So if the roll had been anything besides a 1, let's say it was a 4, then all of these units are ineffective. And you need to find some way to keep track of that because they're ineffective for the entire season, regardless if they regardless of shifting situations. They will be ineffective for the entire season. What one of the shorthands that we've taken to doing is rotating them sideways to show that they're ineffective. And that seems to do the trick for us. If you look at this counter, it has 4 values. It has a faction, B. There's 3 factions, A, B, and C, and based on varying political situations as they develop, different factions are going to go up or down in loyalty. There's the rank, which is 2 stars, the effectiveness, which is -2, and the loyalty, which is currently 10. That's loyalty 11, that's loyalty 9. And the other things that can affect effectiveness of our units is sometimes the political phase will create ineffective units based on the coup situation, and based on the condition of the South Vietnamese government, whether there was a coup or whether it's unstable, it'll add die roll modifiers to this. Now we have the VC breakdown segment. So when a regiment is built, 3 battalions are taken off the map. So let's say this regiment was built right here. I'm going to show you now that it's a regiment. This is the 1st Independent Regiment. When the regiment is first built, 3 battalions were taken off the map and the regiment was put on the map. Now the breakdown segment works kind of the opposite of that. What you're seeing is at that point is that you want to take that away and replace it with 3 random available battalions. So you have a cup of dead battalions or unused battalions, and you grab 3 at random. So it's a random draw. You take this out of play, and you put these in their place. And we'll take a look at them. You can see the 3 battalions. And that is everything that you need to know about the VC breakdown segment. The final record-keeping phase is the often overlooked phase, as most players carry their record-keeping forward prior to this point. But this is the last step of the interphase where you just make your final records. If you look at the US record sheet, you see something that says S7. So this is done during segment 7. So the U.S. ending commitment, which is where we are now, is recorded. U.S. ending morale is recorded. And South Vietnamese ending morale is recorded. The NLF have a similar sheet, and North Vietnamese ending morale and North Vietnamese ending commitment. And that is all there is to the interphase. I finished the interphase. The only thing I didn't do is the pacification phase because it is skipped on the first turn. So the next time we are together, we'll probably start to play the game.